Welcome back.
To this episode of SVSN. I'm your general news anchor, Gabe Burkheimer.
And I'm your other general news anchor, Bradley Sickles.
You heard it, folks. That's right. We're doing general news.
General news!
General!
Aye, aye, sir. Wait, it's nothing to do with the Army, does it?
No, that's pirates, Brad.
Oh, okay.
Well, for our first general news topic, we have politics.
Politics? Do they have pollen on them? The ticks go, on
No,
you
I
and
think,
have pollen on them?
I think,
It's like your blood?
I think we're talking about politics, like Ohio politics.
Oh, so we're like John Kasich and Donald Trump and stuff like that, right?
Yes, that's right.
I
Yes.
think Hannah has more.
Hannah Lamberson, our field reporter.
Yes.
Out to you, Hannah Lamberson, with an update on Ohio politics.
Hannah Lamberson here, and this week I'm bringing you an update on the 2016 election. If we take a look at the Democrats' side, we have Clinton leading with 1,712 of the needed 2,383 to receive the nomination, and Bernie Sanders is behind her with 1,004. On the side of the Republicans, Trump's leading with 736 out of the needed 1,237, and Ted Cruz is behind him with 463, and John Kasich behind both of them with 143. Ben Carson has dropped out of the race, as well as Marco Rubio, and Carson has moved on to endorsing Trump. Trump recently took back his pledge to support whoever the Republican nominee was, and John Kasich did so as well. According to CNBC, Trump's campaign manager Corey Lewandowski has been charged with simple assault due to a surveillance video being released showing him grabbing reporter Michelle Fields while she was trying to get to Trump to ask a question on March 8th.
Hannah, just thank you for that mind-numbing report.
Yes, thank you, Hannah. And now, Brad, in more general news topics.
General news.
What is our next one?
Well, Gabe, have you ever tasted pie?
You know, I never get a chance to, Brad.
Well, my favorite pie is a blackberry.
Blackberry pie?
Yes.
I would say if I had tried pie, my favorite would probably be apple.
Apple pie. You know McDonald's has apple pie.
They do. But Brad, I don't think we're talking about the pie you eat.
No, we're not.
I think we're talking about 3.1415926793238462643388479716939993. I can't go on anymore.
It's a really long list, but you get the gist.
Yes.
Kennedy Meredith out with more on Pie Day.
A few weeks ago was Pi Day.
Pi Day is celebrated on March 14th. Pi is a Greek letter used in mathematics to represent the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. PiDay.org says, pi has been calculated over 1 trillion digits beyond its decimal point. The first 3 digits, which are 3.14, which is why it is celebrated on March 14th, because the date is 314. Pi Day was celebrated here at Piketon on that day. 7th grade math teacher Mrs. Angie Bentley invited her students to bring in delicious pies to honor this special day. 8th grade math teacher Mrs. Stacy Hart set up games that were focused around pi and also had the students measure things like the circumference and the radius of a pancake. And high school math teacher Miss Hope Wellman got pictures of her students holding up numbers and is going to arrange them in an order according to the digits of pi around her classroom.
I'm Kennedy Meredith with SVSN News.
Oh, Brad, I am just stuffed from all that pie.
Too much pie, Gabe. That's 3.14 times 5 pi.
Yeah, y equals mx plus b over the slope, and that's how much pie we had.
It's too much math and pie at the same time.
I can't do it, Brad. I think we have one more story, maybe, for general news.
You think so?
I think...
Oh, I can't handle another one. Are you alright?
Oh,
You
sorry.
need air.
I need air. That's what it was. Maybe we should run some tests.
Test, yes, you need tests.
Speaking of air tests, have you heard of the new testing that's been going on?
Is it different from OGT testing?
It is. It's called air test. Sarah Gilman has more on air testing.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst, for being with us today. Now, can you tell us how is the AIR test different from previous tests, such as the PARCC tests and the OGT?
Well, there's a little bit of a background with the OGT. OGT actually stands for Ohio Graduation Test, and this test was administered to students during their 10th grade year. Now, most students passed it pretty well the first time, and if a student missed one section, then that student could retake the test as many times basically as they needed to, even after graduation. The subjects that were tested were reading, math, science, social studies, and writing. Now, the OGT was also created by the American Institute for Research, or AIR, and that's the platform and the group that made the tests that our students will be taking shortly. Now, the Ohio legislators decided that the OGT may not be sufficiently assessing whether or not our students were ready for colleges and careers. So they determined that they would join a consortium of states across the nation seeking a higher or harder curriculum, and that is the Common Core curriculum. And in order to assess the Common Core curriculum, the state of Ohio turned to the Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Career, and that is the PARCC test that we know. So when PARCC took on Ohio's graduation testing, PARCC tested the ELA and the math. Now, the social studies and science still stayed with the American Institute for Research, or AIR. So when students took the tests last year, science and social studies, that was the same platform that the students will be seeing for all of their tests this year.
All right. And how will these tests be administered?
Well, just like last year, students will go to the computer lab and they will receive login information from their teachers, and they'll just log in, select the test that they need to take, and the process will be handled automatically.
All right. That sounds very efficient. And how will these students be preparing for these tests?
Well, the first place that students will always prepare for tests is in their classroom. The teachers have organized their curriculum so that it covers the indicators that will be tested. Teachers have also spent a lot of time preparing classroom assessments that line up with the type of assessments that they will be seeing. Also, during RISE period, the students are going through a series of tutorials which will help the kids use the tools and become a little bit more familiar with those computer format that the students will be tested on.
All right, and the last question is, what will happen if the students do not pass these tests?
Well, the students won't receive a diploma. In order to receive a diploma, the students have to do basically 3 things. Okay, the first thing that they have to do is to complete all of their high school credits. So, as most people know, that's done with scheduling, like 4 units of English, 4 units of math, etc. So those are your Carnegie units for high school. Next, they have to take the end of course tests. Now, there are a couple of options after that. So, the first option, and this comes to you from the Ohio Department of Education, one way that they can graduate would be if they earn a high enough cumulative score on those end of course assessments. Those are the AIR tests you guys are all about to take. The second option would be if they earned a remediation-free score on their ACT. And the remediation-free score would be for English an 18, for mathematics a 22, and for reading a 21. The third way that a student could receive a diploma would be if they go to the JVS and they receive an industry-recognized credential. And typically that's done through the Work Keys program at the JVS.
All right, thank you very much.
Brad, I can barely breathe. There's so much air in here right now.
I know, that was a tornado of a story. Not in a bad way, in a really good way. Like, tornado.
Well, Brad, I'm afraid this is the end of our general news career.
It was fun, Gabe. It was very fun.
It was very fun. Well, I'm your general news anchor, Gabe Berkheimer.
And I'm your lieutenant anchor, Bradley Sickles.
And now out to the sports team of Golly and Merritt.
I think it's Molly and Garrett.
Molly, out to you, Molly and Garrett.
Sports Center.
Hello! Thanks, Brad and Gabe, for, taking our spot for the day. This is Molly Armstrong, if you don't know that yet.
You didn't introduce yourself.
I'm Garrett White. And this is the sports team for the day.
Sports center.
Center for the day team.
Not sports. We're not actually playing any sports.
Not here, at least.
Not in here, right
I
now.
mean, we could.
Should we?
Maybe later.
Yeah, maybe we will.
So, we don't have very much to say, but
Not much to report on this week for sports. We're kind of in between seasons.
We are.
Basketball is just wrapping up. Baseball and softball and track are just starting. There's not much happening.
Nope.
Anyway, got something to report on for the girls' sports side. I hear a good friend of ours, Miss Gilb,
Miss Gill.
is the new girls' track coach, and I do believe Ruthie Wyatt has more on that.
Miss Gill.
She would know a lot about that. She runs track, so she's the girl to ask. So let's take it out to Ruthie.
I'm here with Miss Gilbert, the new Piketon High School girls track coach, to talk about her plan of attack this season. So, Miss Gilbert, what was your interest in coaching track this year?
Well, I ran track in junior high and high school, and so I've always sort of been interested in track. But I also wanted to get involved with my community and with my school, so this was a good way to do that.
Have you ever coached track before?
Yeah, this is my second year coaching track, my first year here at Piketon.
What are your goals for this track season?
My goals are really just to help the girls improve and to beat their personal records. I hope, to go pretty far with, our events and through districts and all of that. But as long as the girls are just improving themselves, then I'll be happy with that.
Do you feel like the team brought before you this year will meet your expectations?
I think so. We have a lot of good experienced runners. And then we also have some girls who came up from junior high who I think will be pretty good. And then we also have some girls who haven't ran before or thrown before. But they're all doing pretty well too. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for this interview, and back to you.
Thanks, Ruthie.
All right, so Molly, since we're doing the sports side of things, I think we should do something a little special. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Are you catching what I'm throwing?
I sure am, Garrett. Let's go play some baseball.
Yeah.
Welcome to this.
It's so awkward, just like